Us on social media. Where you are is where it's at.
Right now at 6, Cherokee County Health Department stresses immunizations are vital with recent measles, mumps, and rubella outbreaks in Kansas.
And we've got, well, it's a nice looking sunrise out there, but already very warm this morning and dangerous heat on the way. We'll have a look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, Joplin's new homelessness director wants to work himself out of a job, how he's aiming to end homelessness in the community.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
I'm Chris Warner. It is now Friday, August the 8th, and this is finally Friday.
Yes, here we are. It's gonna be a hot,
It is.
hot
It's
Friday.
already pretty warm outside, and I don't like it. I know you folks at home don't like it. It is summer in the 4 states. That's just kind of how we roll around here, whether we want to or not. That's just, we don't control the weather, man. We tell you what it's going to do to the best of our abilities, and I can tell you right now it's going to get dangerously hot again, unfortunately. Let's start with that look outside downtown Pittsburgh. Sunrise looks nice. Not a bad start to the day in terms of the sky conditions. Just a couple of clouds here and there. MoDOT camera 20th and range line looking good as well. Here's the issue we face. We have heat advisories now for virtually everyone through 8 this evening. It's rare that all the different offices have the same expiration time, but they do this time. So through 8 this evening, the exception of Nowata and Washington counties where we have extreme heat warnings in place through this evening. And that is because heat index values down to the south and west and in that area there could be a little more than 110 degrees, as if that wasn't hot enough. And we don't really have anything in terms of relief. So that's the other issue we're going to face is we're going to have maybe a cloud or two. And we've got between 2 and 8 an isolated pop-up shower chance, but those are very isolated. They may not even come true for us at all, but it'd be nice if they did. You've got to also make sure you're using sunblock, taking care of your skin while you're out there too, if you have to be outside. I know there's a lot of projects going on, a lot of things going on where folks do need to work outside, but you got to make sure you're taking precautions, not just in terms of staying hydrated and staying cool, but also keeping your skin safe as well. 77 in Joplin right now. It's 77 in Pittsburgh as well. Temperatures across the area look like this. Most of us mid-upper 70s across the area. We've got Cassville, Monette, a little cooler, 71 Monette, 72 in Cassville. I don't know what they did, but they have made Mother Nature happy, and she is giving them a much more normal start to the day. Unfortunately, all of us heating up though. Mid-80s by 9, mid-90s by noon. Highs today about 100. You could be a degree or two cooler. You could be a degree or two warmer. Isolated shower again between 2 and 8. South winds gusting to 25, and for most of us, heat index values easily approaching 110 degrees. We're going to talk more about this dangerous heat, how much longer it lasts, and about some other rain chances this weekend here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, a former church building burns in Chetopa, Kansas. Firefighters responded to 403 Locust Avenue just after 7:30. The large structure had visible smoke and flames when crews arrived. 5 departments assisted Chetopa Fire, including Oswego, Columbus, Welch, Bartlett, and Edna Fire Departments. Crews cut a hole in the south gable and used a ladder truck to attack hotspots from above. Several firefighters were treated for heat exposure in the 85-degree weather. No serious injuries occurred, and the Kansas State Fire Marshal's office is investigating the cause. Well, as the school year approaches, health experts remind parents and college students about the importance of vaccines. As KOAM's Lonnie Walton reports, the Cherokee County Health Department says those shots could help protect students and the local community.
Mean the world to me. They're my life. They're everything that I do.
Brittany Childers is a mom of 3, and like most moms, she doesn't like leaving them for a single moment, except when it comes to immunization shots.
They do. They cry. They want their mom. They want their dad. That's part of the biggest thing, is being the emotional comfort for children.
Kaden Kissler, the administrator for the Cherokee County Health Department, says these shots are not only vital to the child, but to the entire community.
Immunizations right now are very important because of recent outbreaks locally through the state of Kansas with measles, mumps, and rubella.
The concern doesn't necessarily end after high school.
One of the areas that becomes a little bit more laxed is when those children are now out of school and entering college. And so unless those programs require them to have certain vaccinations, it's very important that they go ahead and have those vaccinations completed as well.
Kisser says don't forget about a few extras.
For older children, other vaccines that are important is boosting that Tdap vaccine and their HPV vaccine.
Speaking of all these shots, what about the pain?
Well, all shots hurt a little bit.
You really don't tell them they're going to get the shot before they get the shots.
And if you don't like taking shots, hopefully the pain won't last for too long. Reporting in Cherokee County, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
According to the Kansas Department of Health and Environment, there is an increase in exemptions from last year, mostly due to religious preferences. A 911 call for unknown trouble turns into a death investigation of an infant at a Joplin apartment complex. Joplin police set up their crime scene command unit after responding to the initial call around 8:40 yesterday morning at the Oxford Park Apartments on the 2600 block of 34th Street. When crews arrived, they discovered an unconscious 9-month-old infant who was not breathing. Despite emergency efforts, the infant was pronounced dead at the scene. Authorities remain on the scene as the active investigation continues. Police are working with the coroner's office to conduct an autopsy. This is a developing story. You can head to KOAMnewsnow.com for more details as they become available. Well, Project Homeless was in action at the Joplin Salvation Army office. It's a one-stop shop for people experiencing homelessness to get information and resources for help. Resources like legal aid, housing assistance, and medical checks are available. The homeless population is growing across the nation, and the local Homeless Coalition says there are not enough resources to keep up.
It's necessarily changing, it's growing. The problem is definitely worse than it's been, and it's like that all across the nation. We need more services for the homeless. We need better mental health care, better medical care. We need a lot more services for our folks.
Well, people who came by were also able to get a free lunch and a free haircut. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can always download the KOAM News app, available in the app store of your choice. Just search for the KOAM News app. Well, Joplin's new homeless director response is already working on a change less than a month into the job. It's a new role for this city, but as the new director tells KOAM Samantha Walker, he hopes to use his experience to help create change.
The reason why you get into the work that I do is so that way you can work yourself out of a job.
That may be an odd thing to hear from a man who's been in his new role for less than a month. But for Eric Argenbright, Joplin's new director of homelessness response, it's the ultimate goal.
Unfortunately, it's a process. We are working on getting the system laid out so that way we can have a functioning aspect for individuals and families.
The Regional Commission on Homelessness, the City of Joplin, and the Joplin Homeless Coalition selected him for the role. The position comes after the City of Joplin commissioned a study called the Community Plan to Address Homelessness. The 167-page report has recommendations to help local efforts to mitigate the effects of homelessness that Argenbright says really cover 3 specific topics. First, community engagement.
To engage everyone in the community, everyone who has an interest in ending homelessness, to be a part of the homeless response system. Also, providing appropriate education on homelessness.
The second area is data.
To say, okay, where do we need to focus our efforts most? Where do we need to look at our resources?
And finally, establishing leadership and what he refers to as a system of care.
Getting all of the stakeholders involved and on the same page, understanding, where we kind of are and things like that. So that way we are all, going towards the same plan.
Argenbright has more than a decade of experience, most recently working with the Kansas statewide Homeless Coalition.
I'm also a person of lived experience, which is a huge thing that we're really trying to get more involvement in our homelessness response system here from folks with lived experience, because they are the true experts.
But his years of experience in this field have also shown him that you can't expect to mitigate homelessness overnight. It's a long process, but Joplin is ready for it.
The amount of love and care and enthusiasm and encouragement that exists within the community in order to help those who are living on the streets, living in shelters, living in their cars. They're living in places not meant for habitation. We're just trying to figure out how can we leverage all of our resources in the best way possible to make homelessness, again, as rare, brief, and non-reoccurring as possible.
Reporting in Joplin, Samantha Walker, KWM News.
And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather coming up on the KOAM Morning News. President Trump says he's very disappointed if Putin fails to reach a ceasefire deal by today's deadline. Plus, exercise can be life-saving for type 2 diabetics. New research shows physical activity lowers heart attack and stroke risk. And it's mostly hot and sunny skies and summer heat sticking around. Chris takes a look at your weather. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Time now, 6:10. We'll be right back. But first, here's a live look from Griggs Park in Carthage, Missouri. Well, topping Nation Watch after marking 200 days in office. President Trump says his push to end the war between Russia and Ukraine is making progress, but not enough. The president has given Moscow an ultimatum: reach a ceasefire by today or face sanctions. The White House now says it's ready to follow through on that threat, even as President Trump signals plans to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Tina Kraus has more.
The White House says it expects to move forward on punishing secondary sanctions for countries that buy Russian oil after the Kremlin failed to reach a ceasefire deal with Ukraine by President Trump's Friday deadline.
I'm very disappointed,
Yesterday, President Trump told reporters it's all on Russian President Vladimir Putin.
We're going to see what he has to say. It's going to be up to him.
Already, the White House announced an additional 25% tariff on India for doing business with Russia. Still, the president says he's open to meeting with Putin after the Russian leader suggested the two could come face to face as soon as next week, possibly in the Middle East.
They would like to meet with me, and I'll do whatever I can to stop the killing.
Earlier this week, the president's special envoy, Steve Witkoff, held what he called highly productive meetings with Putin in Moscow. The White House says no details have been finalized for a possible sit-down between the two leaders, though the president says a meeting would not hinge on Putin meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Putin says conditions for talks with Zelensky are still far off. Zelensky cautions that Ukraine and Europe must have a voice in the negotiations. Tina Kraus, CBS News, London.
President Trump's push for peace between two other countries, Armenia and Azerbaijan, appears to be paying off on social media. The president said he'll host the country's leaders today. Well, still to come, Rose Byrne stars as a mom barely holding it together. If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You hits theaters October 10th. Plus, mostly hot, sunny skies and summer heat is sticking around. Chris has another look at your forecast when we come back. Well, from Broadway's biggest show marking a decade in the spotlight to a new darkly hilarious new film trailer, turning heads, Nick Zajovic has those stories and more in your Eye on Entertainment.
Asking you what I'm supposed to do.
Motherhood, mayhem, and a whole lot of emotional unraveling. Psychological dramedy, If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, follows Linda, played by Rose Byrne, who's a mom barely holding it together. Her kid's sick, her house is falling apart, and her therapy sessions aren't exactly helping. Catch If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You in theaters October 10th.
I've been working.
Two legends of country Americana, Brad Paisley and Emmylou Harris, are headed to the Nashville Songwriters Hall of Fame. Harris, revered for folk country staples like Boulder to Birmingham, is already a country music Hall of Famer with 13 Grammys. And Paisley, known for his hits like I'm Gonna Miss Her, has landed 41 songs on the Billboard Hot 100. They'll be inducted October 6th in Nashville alongside other legends. Broadway's revolutionary hit Hamilton celebrated 10 years since it first took the stage. Following a sold-out anniversary performance, Hamilton creator Lin-Manuel Miranda joined a stage packed with nearly every cast member from its show's history. Original cast member Ariana DeBose beamed with excitement.
Look around how lucky we are to be alive right now. We are in the greatest city in the world. I love the show.
Celebration spilled into the streets with an invite-only block party, Joy for the musical that changed Broadway forever. That's your Eye on Entertainment. Nick Zechevich, CBS News, Los Angeles.
All right, great to see. Let's head over now to Chris with a quick look at today's forecast.
Yeah, take a look at this sunrise from 7th and Range Line. Just a beautiful color there. It almost is ominous, but nothing ominous out there in our forecast for today other than the dangerous heat. We're going to break down those details, talk about some weekend rain chances when we come back. Time now is 6:20. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 6:22 now on this Friday morning. We're going to start with the future track as we have a few different things we've got to talk about over the next couple of days. Starting today, not much out there. Between 2 and 8 could get an isolated shower out there. The chances are very low. There's a decent chance, really, we don't see any pop-up showers, but we might get one or two, with the majority of us being dry. First part of our Saturday, early, we could get, again, maybe an isolated shower or two, but I think most of us will be dry. We'll start to see some chances for some isolated to widely scattered showers and thunderstorms by Saturday evening. And some of the storms in our northern counties might be a bit on the strong side, which we'll show you in just a moment. Then we go into our Sunday. Sunday does bring us slightly better shower and thunderstorm chances, again, initially in our northern counties, but a few showers, rumbles of thunder south of that by noon. And again, for a good portion of Sunday, the better shower and storm chances are going to be along and north of the 54 corridor. It won't be until the late evening hours and overnight Sunday into Monday that we might get a few additional thunderstorms south of that zone, but it still won't be rain everywhere all at once. So this is what we are talking about. Today, again, not even a thunderstorm risk area highlighted, so that's why we're saying just pop-up showers. Tomorrow, it's an isolated, it's a level 1 out of 5 risk for our far northern counties here. And the same thing on Sunday as well, where that risk is going to stay up north, but the light green is just general thunderstorms. And you can see tomorrow, it also keeps it up in the northern half of our area, but does spread it a little more for our Sunday. The other thing we've got to talk about is, I'm so tired of talking about this, but here it is again. Heat index values today, upwards of 110 degrees. Our heat index values tomorrow, upwards of 110 degrees. Sunday, a little relief, and I mean a very little relief. Now we're in the 100 to 105 degree range. You're not going to notice the difference. It's still going to be dangerously hot out there, so you still have to take precautions. We do have heat advisories now for virtually all of us through 8 o'clock this evening. Could they be reissued or expanded through the weekend? It's not out of the realm of possibility. It's something just to keep an eye on. But even if they aren't, we just showed you those heat index values. It's still going to be dangerously hot into the weekend. And then for Washington and Nevada counties and northeast Oklahoma, those are extreme heat warnings. Yesterday, the future track on the heat index values showed that the 115 almost degree heat index values out west. Well, unfortunately, at least down there, those heat index values could be 110 to 113 degrees. And a reminder, all of our extreme heat safety tips, KOAMnewsnow.com/forecast is where you're going to find those. A lot of great resources there. We were looking at clear skies through the morning, but as you can see, these clouds have had a bit of a change of heart. So we'll do a mix of mostly clear to partly cloudy skies through the morning. Still hot, though. Low 80s by 8, low 90s by 11 o'clock this morning. Highs today about 100. You may be a degree or two cooler, you may be a degree or two hotter, but either way you paint it, still hot and breezy as well. South winds gusting to 25. Well, mostly clear skies through the late evening and overnight hours, back down to 80, 10 degrees above normal out there. South winds still gusty. And again, on future track, it's not rain across this whole area, but by Monday, this is where we start to see better chances for, again, some scattered showers and thunderstorms out there. And that's why when the green's painted across our whole region, it's really saying that isolated to scattered storms would be possible anywhere in our area, but it unfortunately does not mean our entire area is looking at rain chances next week. In fact, you can see we go back to pop-up storm chances Tuesday through Thursday. Near 100 again tomorrow, mid-upper 90s Sunday. By Monday, Tuesday, it's a brief return to normal temperatures. And then we heat back up again. Dangerous heat returns second half of next week. Upper 90s, near 100 for our highs. Let's check your forecast. We're going to send it over to Elise now with Health Watch.
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, nearly half of Americans are unaware of vaccines recommended for them. A UC Riverside study also found more than 8 in 10 people haven't gotten vaccines they should be taking. Researchers recommend doctors talk to patients who visit the ER about recommended vaccines. especially among groups with low vaccination rates, including Black communities, the uninsured, and people without a primary care doctor. Well, exercise can be life-saving for people with type 2 diabetes. Danish researchers showed that for people with type 2 diabetes, increased physical activity improves insulin sensitivity, blood sugar control, and lowers the risk of heart attacks, strokes, and death. Even light physical activity lowered the risk of major cardiac events by more than 20%. In a new study, a survey highlights the everyday challenges people with IBS or irritable bowel syndrome face. The American Gastroenterological Association data shows IBS patients typically experience lower productivity at work and school for 11 days a month because of the condition. More than 70% of sufferers say it's difficult to plan things because of their symptoms, and they stay home more often as a result. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, Oklahoma holds a public meeting on proposed limestone quarry. Midstate Minerals is seeking a 100-year permit near Miami.
And we've got some clouds out there, and believe it or not, we got a couple of showers in our far western counties. We'll look at that and talk about the dangerous heat coming up.
Plus, a sewer overflow kills hundreds of fish in Honey Creek. Lamar works to remediate the watery grave near manholes.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:31. I'm Elise Noe.
I'm Chris Warner. It is now Friday, August the 8th. We're pushing right through this week, ready for the weekend, ready to stay indoors where it's cool for the weekend.
Sometimes that's a nice weekend, though.
Sometimes.
Just relaxing, staying away from the heat, enjoying the weekend.
But it also gets boring. The first couple of hours, sometimes you're like, no, this is nice. See what's on Netflix or whatever. And then a couple hours in, you're like, okay, I need to go outside, and then you do, and then you realize why you staying inside.
Get some ice cream this weekend for sure.
May not make it back to the house intact, but get some ice cream for sure because it is hot. Let's start with that look outside downtown Pittsburgh. Got a great sunrise out there. A few clouds, and believe it or not, our far western counties now seeing some shower chances. There are some showers, not chances, but actual showers. MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline looking good as well. Here's what I'm talking about. Take a look. Greenwood, Elk, Chautauqua counties. We have these little showers that have popped up out there. Not much to them, but similar to the storms we saw earlier this week around the noon hour that weren't supposed to be there. Well, these aren't supposed to be there either, but here they are. So again, it's light showers, far western Chautauqua County, around Cedarvale, south of Caneyville, back up toward Howard along K99 into Elk County, and we followed up just one little shower south of Eureka in Greenwood County as well. All right, so here's a look at them, and you can see where they've just they started in northeast Oklahoma, and so I was keeping an eye on those because they're not doing much, but they're starting to try and fill in a little back further to the north. But as you can see, it's very isolated, and the majority of us still dry at this point. We'll keep an eye on them, see if maybe we could get slightly more meaningful rainfall chances from them. It's unlikely, but we can keep our fingers crossed, right? In the meantime, though, heat advisories for virtually everyone through 8 o'clock this evening. Washington, Newada counties in northeast Oklahoma, those are extreme heat warnings because heat index values there could be slightly in excess of 110 degrees. So here's Future Track by noon. Nothing out there. Between 2 and 8, we have an opportunity for, again, another isolated shower or two. We also have the opportunity that we don't see an isolated shower at all. But as you can see, if we do get anything, it's not going to be much, and the majority of us will be dry, hot, and breezy. Already very warm this morning, 77 in both Joplin and Pittsburgh, and around the region, temperatures, again, Monette and Cassville, you guys did something where Mother Nature's pleased with you because you've been in the low 70s this morning, and everybody else is in the mid and upper 70s. We've been close to 80 degrees this morning since about 5 a.m. Temperatures will continue to climb, mid-80s by 9, mid-90s by noon, highs today about 100. Some of you may be a degree or two lower than that. Some of you may be a degree or two higher than that, but about 100. Heat index values for most of us also up to about 110, and south winds gusting to 25 miles an hour. Dangerous heat will continue into the weekend, and then we'll see some additional, at least isolated to scattered rain chances. We'll go over those details with you here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, we'll see you soon, Chris. Thanks. So the Oklahoma Department of Mines held a public meeting for the proposed limestone quarry permit in the Miami area. Midstate Materials is seeking a 100-year permit to mine the land 1 mile north of Highway 10 near Spring River. Now, some Miami citizens are concerned about the impact on air and water quality and about potential use of explosives.
I feel we came in with a plan to kind of just have everything lined out and then to listen and kind of go down the list. And I feel that while some things were addressed, most were not. I'm really hoping that with the comment letter that they're supposed to supply back, that more of our issues will be addressed.
Now, the Oklahoma Department of Mines will compile the comments and questions and will make them available at a later date. Well, a powerful chapter of Joplin's history is brought to light at the Spiva Center for the Arts. The latest exhibit, Joplin's Easttown Legacy Revealed, opened yesterday for an intimate look at the often overlooked history of the African American community in Easttown and beyond. The exhibit honors history while celebrating a lasting legacy.
I like to think of myself as being a colorist, and I want them to feel the emotion of jazz and the emotion of Negro League baseball. One of the hallmarks of Negro League baseball is African Americans, everything we do, we're very expressive with it. So I try to do that expression with color.
The exhibit runs until August 23rd. Well, it's definitely hot enough for some ice cream, and Joplin community members gathered at Caroline's for a sweet cause, a free ice cream scoop and a backpack drive to benefit Children's Haven. Guests donated new backpacks, and for each one, organizers matched the gift, doubling the impact for local kids in need. There were 48 backpacks collected, and the team matched it with 52 more, making it an even 100 total backpacks donated.
We've done this event for a couple of years now. As you can see, it's pretty busy, so people come and go, but response has been great. We always have people bring in a bunch of backpacks. It's a great opportunity for just people to kind of mingle and meet other people here as well.
Certainly a sweet event there. Well, a sewage spill devastates wildlife in a Lamar, Missouri creek, killing hundreds of fish. The backup released untreated wastewater into the creek, threatening the local environment. Officials say around 800 fish were found dead. KOAM's Anthony Saviello explains what the city is doing to remedy the situation.
It's a tale that smells bad.
We determined that at some point we've had a sewer overflow from one of our manholes close to the creek. So currently we're working on remediating that.
A closer look at the water shows Honey Creek is now a watery grave for hundreds of fish.
Nobody wants to see these circumstances. Nobody wants to see any harm come to the wildlife. I mean, wildlife's a great part of the ecosystem. It takes all of it to make that work.
Despite the perishing of so many fish, the Missouri Department of Conservation says there is good news for the future of the creek.
If the habitat returns, in this case would be cleaner water, the wildlife will return too. It's just a matter of getting things cleaned up and then let nature take its course. And in this case, it will probably repopulate that stream, and over a course of time, things should be fine.
This stinky situation serves as a reminder.
This is a good reminder that habitat exists in all types of environments: urban, rural, big river, small stream in the city, anything like that. So it's just, it's another reason why we need to take care of our environment.
I think the one thing is just for people to recognize what they're putting in the sewer system or what they're throwing out in the streets. I mean, there's always a chance that gets in there. It shouldn't, but there's always a possibility somehow those items do end up in the sewer system.
The pumping that you see going on behind me will continue until the entire creek gets remediated and restored back to its former glory. In Lamar, Missouri, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
The Missouri Department of Natural Resources says it's conducting its own investigation. Lamar City officials are asking people to stay out of Honey Creek until further notice. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. It's Friday, and that of course means Shannon Becker is here in studio with his big three stories of the week. We'll be right back. Time now 6:39. But first, here's a live look from Griggs Park in Carthage, Missouri.
Welcome back. We've got Shannon Becker in the studio with his big 3 news stories of the week. Shannon, good morning.
Beauty and the Beast. She always looks amazing. Always great. Let's take a look at the big 3 stories this week. KOAM News Now. Live and local, what's happening where you live is Mocan Dragway this last weekend. A very, very scary crash. Right. 2 vehicles, of course, 2 drag cars going down, and one kind of got squirrely. That's a word to say.
Okay.
Hit the outside and then went across and then slammed about 130 miles an hour, hit the other one.
That is
Both of them went to the hospital.
Right.
One of them had to have surgery the next day, but of course it's not slowed anything down at Mocan. Everybody's all right. And coming up on the big Labor Day weekend, they'll have the big Mocan Dragway. It's the 60th anniversary of the Labor Day special, so it'll be great.
Wow.
Our number 2 story, KOAM News Now, a scary crash near Golden City. If you can see here, we're looking through, actually, those are utility lines. They were down at all 4 corners of the intersection. This man, utility lines down on the car. Of course, you're not supposed to get out. They were still energized. He could have been electrocuted.
Oh my gosh.
He had to sit in the car for a period of time before he could actually be rescued. The fire crews were standing way back. I know. If a passenger would have been with him, it would have been probably a fatality.
Yes.
But he was flown to a Springfield hospital, serious injuries. This pickup truck man from Mount Vernon, Jesus was standing there talking. It didn't look like he had a scratch on him.
Wow.
Seat belts. Both of them were wearing their seat belts.
Yes.
Our number 1 story, Joplin News First, a tragedy yesterday. Joplin police are investigating the death of a 9-month-old baby at the Oxford Apartments on 34th Street in Joplin. You can read more details about it on this breaking news story on our website. Also, I think you've been talking about it this morning.
It this morning, a heartbreaking story, and still a lot of questions that need to be answered.
Exactly. And so what a lot of people might not realize, Joplin police are still on the scene now. Since they send the baby up for autopsy, they contain that scene. They call it a crime scene because until it's proven otherwise that it's not a crime. So they're still on there tonight or today. They've been there 24 hours a day, and they'll be there keeping the integrity of the investigation, which is what they do a lot of times in these serious cases like this. And our bonus story, it's a lot of fun. I don't know if you've seen this before. Have you?
I have seen
Oh my gosh,
not up in the air, but
I'm so fascinated. Walmart has this zipline drone delivery service. One of my friends was telling me about it, and so I went to see it. It's in Pea Ridge. They do this. So your groceries, it can be up to like 5 pounds, and they'll deliver it to your house within 6 miles. So watch this really close here.
Yeah.
So where are your groceries? Right there at the bottom. This cracks me up. I was so fascinated. That's them, and they go up into the bottom of that drone, and then it locks in. It's got a tail number like an airplane.
They must be pretty big.
Yeah, they are.
Wow.
Oh yeah, that's pretty big. And so then it goes up inside the drone, and then the drone just zoom, it just goes off. And then it will hover above your house, and that little bitty drone then comes out and then goes on your lawn or patio or wherever it's supposed to.
So 2025, no flying cars, but flying groceries.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So if you have a medicine that you've forgotten or you need to pick up, if you're sick, they can deliver that. Or, that secret ingredient for dinner that you forgot about, you can get that delivered to your house. You have to have an annual subscription service, or, it could cost like $12 or $20, depending upon that.
Very interesting.
So I don't think it's coming to Missouri anytime soon, but they are hitting 100 new cities. States far away from us, but cross our fingers. Pea Ridge isn't very far.
No, it's not. All right, Shannon. Well, as always, thank you so much for being with us this morning. Stick around. We'll be right back.
All right, time for some Friday birthdays here in the 4 states, and we're going to start in Pittsburgh with Bowie McHouston celebrating birthday number 3 with love from Oma and Pop Pop.
And in Columbus, a happy 4th birthday to Augie Clark. It says happy birthday from your family.
And Olivia Ross in Columbus celebrating birthday number 8 today. Says love Papa, Nani Ross, Dad, Amy, Nani Margaret, and Adam.
And in Neosho, a happy 11th birthday to Samantha Akey.
And we've got Landon Jesse celebrating birthday number 17 in Pittsburgh. Happy birthday.
And a happy 18th birthday to Ace Barcelona.
And in Salinas, California, Wade Leon celebrating birthday number 64 today. Happy birthday.
And in Webb City, a happy 71st birthday to John McFarland.
And Melba Owen in Columbus celebrating birthday number 90. Says happy birthday from your family and friends.
And in Melrose, a happy anniversary to Ralph and Mary Reed, celebrating their 5th year of being married.
And in Crestline, Jess and Jackie Rion celebrating their 9th anniversary today. Very happy anniversary to you.
And Bill and Kathy Parrish celebrating their 47th anniversary today. Also in Crestline, happy anniversary.
And we've got Ray and Brenda Devers celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary. Very happy anniversary to the Devers.
And happy 50th anniversary to Milton and Margaret Kellogg.
And we've got Stanley and Maxine Ryan celebrating their 66th anniversary in Crestline. There's something about Crestline and this weekend here for weddings. And talk about some long-time anniversaries here. 66 years. Happy anniversary from family and friends.
And continuing our list over in Carthage, a happy 9th birthday to Carter Borland.
And in Galena, Darren Combs celebrating birthday number 21. It says, happy birthday, Dad, love, Knox.
And a happy 52nd birthday in Jasper to Jason Earl.
And in Lamar, Corey Pitts celebrating birthday number 53.
And this time in Coffeyville, a happy anniversary to Shirley and Art Peterson.
All right, now that's a fantastic list of birthdays and anniversaries. And of course, we really love when every list is just like that. And if you want to help us out, Elise has some information so you can celebrate your loved one's special day with us.
Yes, please submit your birthdays and anniversaries to birthdays@KOAMnewsnow.com. When submitting, be sure to include the date of your celebration when submitting as well.
Important information there. And then I got something that, this is why I love doing the weather sometimes, because twice this week, Mother Nature has said, I'm smarter than a computer. We have some showers in our far western counties. Remember earlier this week, I think it was Tuesday, we had that line of thunderstorms that the computers said would die out north of I-70, and it didn't. It made it all the way to I-44. Now we've got these showers that the computers say shouldn't be there at all, but there they are. There's not much to them at this point, but we're going to have to just kind of see what they do, because I keep checking the short-range computer data because it updates every hour, and it's still not picking up on these showers. But we have these near Cedar Vale on 166 west of Sedan. We've got a couple around Howard into Elk County, and then we've got a heavier shower. It's kind of developed between Eureka and Twin Grove on K99 back into Greenwood County. So again, nothing significant with this activity. It started, and I'll be honest, it started down here. You can see in Oklahoma from a few hours ago, and I was kind of watching that because I thought, this might try and clip parts of Washington County, and then just all of a sudden, it started filling into the north. So we'll keep an eye on those showers for you. It would be great, with no severe weather, of course, if they would turn into something more meaningful. Whether or not they do, we'll have to wait and see. But at least some of us getting some light rain this morning. And you're going to want that rain, man, because this is going to start to just be dangerously hot. We have a chance later today between 2 and 8 for an isolated shower. Again, this chance very low. Most of us will be dry. It'll be the same thing tomorrow morning, an isolated shower too in the southern half of our area before we see slightly better shower thunderstorm chances out there, primarily into our northern counties. We could get a few down south of that. As we head into Sunday, more shower and thunderstorm chances, and they're slightly better again initially along and north of the 54 corridor. But then as we go late evening and overnight on Sunday, we start to get a few more scattered storms, and it's not looking to be rain everywhere all at once, but it's looking like slightly better rain chances as we head into Monday. We also have, unfortunately, and it's just barely clipping us, but we have a level 1 out of 5 risk both tomorrow and Sunday where we could get an isolated strong or low-grade severe storm out there. The other side of this coin is our heat index values. Today up to 110, tomorrow up to 110 again. Sunday, slight improvement as they look to be reaching up to about 105. And we do have heat advisories across most of the area through 8 this evening. Excessive heat warnings into Washington, Nevada counties, and Oklahoma. Heat safety tips, KOAMnewsnow.com/forecast. Got some clouds out there this morning. Some mix of mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. Low 80s by 8, low 90s by 11 a.m. We're going to have another look at your forecast and, of course, your wake-up recap here in just a moment. And when we transition to Fox 14 at 7 a.m., or, of course, if you just sit there and don't do anything, if you're streaming with us on KOAM+, we're going to meet a Texas woman who turns broken pipes into hope for people without homes.
This is your Wake Up Breakout for August 8th. The top stories to start your day. Well, a tragic incident at Joplin's Oxford Park Apartments has led to a death investigation of a 9-month-old infant. Responding to a 911 call for unknown trouble, police found the infant unconscious and not breathing. Despite emergency efforts, the child was pronounced dead at the scene. Authorities remain on site as the investigation continues. An autopsy is planned with the coroner's office. And that's a check of today's Wake Up Recap.
And dangerous heat continuing. Heat advisories for most of us through 8 this evening. Highs about 100. Heat index values to 110 and an isolated shower or two possible between 2 and 8. Gusty south winds. Mostly clear overnight. Still very warm, right around 80. And gusty winds tomorrow. Isolated shower storm possible. Still dangerously hot. And a few more storms late Sunday into Monday, bringing our temperatures back down to normal to start the next work week. But it is a brief break as we go back to dangerous heat to upper 90s near 100 next week.
All right. We will, of course, have more news and weather coming up today at noon.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. Big changes could be coming if you have a 401k or IRA. Jill Schlesinger explains new options available that could make you more money for your retirement.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, the Neosho Arts Council is calling all area young artists to take part in the Thomas Hart Benton Youth Art Competition and Exhibition.
And Shannon Becker back with his big 3 stories of the week. However, that is going to wrap it up for us for now on this Finally Friday. We'll see you back here Monday morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you today at noon.